Hey family, my name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and on this episode of Why I Backed, I'm going to be talking about a game that has been on a lot of people's radar lately, especially the last few months. I've been seeing a lot of boards and a lot of people talk about it in like the board game groups I'm on Facebook and everything like that. It's been something that's been very hard to find. I've been lucky enough to magically somehow find exactly what I want from it. But for those that didn't, you can always go onto Kickstarter right now, and at least for the next 2 weeks or so, and pick yourself up a beautiful copy of it. I am talking about the crazy, whimsical, maddening world of Wonderland in the game Wonderland's War. So as you can see, I have the deluxe edition of this. Somehow I was able to find a copy at a really great price. Plus I have the premium chips in here. So rather than waiting for the Kickstarter, which is going on right now for the reprint and the expansion, I was able to pick it up and I'm so glad I did. I love this game. This game is fantastic. But what this is going to be is about why I backed the expansion and a few other things, and to get you out there interested in this as well if you haven't already backed it on your own, or if you're still kind of curious about it and things along that ways. I think we're good with this. Let's jump on over to the page and see what some new things have been added to the wacky world of Wonderland that will drive us all maybe a little bit crazier, a little more insane. That Cheshire Cat, let me tell you, oh boy, the art for this game is fantastic. That is so creepy. I love it. So good, so good, so good. Okay, so as I have done with previous videos, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button here in order to play the little intro movie that they have for the Kickstarter. Kind of gives you a little bit of a background and an idea of how the game plays, what to expect from the Kickstarter, things along that ways. I believe this is what was used for the original Kickstarter for Wonderland's Wars like 2 years ago, so there's not going to be too much new in here, but we'll go over that as I go through the actual thing. So boom, here we go.
The path
Druid City
to the old
Games.
tree is well worn. I could have walked it with my eyes closed. The tumble down the rabbit hole brings back a flood of memories.
So beautiful.
Tales of time running out.
Down the rabbit
And of
hole.
warm tea passed around. The frosting is delicate and light, and I nibble the cake marked "Eat Me," just so to gain passage.
So cool.
I was told Wonderland had changed, but I was not prepared for what I saw. The tea is now cold, and the cakes are old. How I would love to be asked to move down one more time. I miss how brilliant it was
the little
when the
creatures
slithy
and
toes did
everything.
gyre and gimble in the wave. Somehow,
Those guys are strong in the
madness
game.
has
Very
evaporated.
strong.
Like the cloud of crazy has been blown aside. Once, I would have given my very mind for a
There's still plenty
moment
of crazy going on.
silence in this kaleidoscope of kinetic life. I've been gone a long time. The paths through Wonderland have become twisted, and our reflection is now twisted and broken into something unrecognizable.
Back through the
I
looking glass we
will
go.
bring clarity to the confusion. If war will right this wrong, then so be
Fantastic. Fantastic. Ooh, boy. Crazy. So, this Kickstarter, at the time of this recording, like me recording it for you right now, has been live for maybe about an hour or so, give or take. And while watching that video, the funds for it have gone up probably at about almost $10,000 or so. It's currently sitting at 1,700 and, well, it was one. Now it's 3 backers at over $102,000. Still 17 days to go. 3 more people just backed it as I'm doing this. So this project is fully funded already. You're going to go with it. People, like I said, there's a lot of gamers out there who've been looking forward to Wonderland Wars. It is a hard game to find, or was, I guess, at this point. And now that the Kickstarter is out, they're able to finally get their hands on it, even though it's going to take them a while to get it. All right, so welcome back to Wonderland's War. So Wonderland's War is a game for 2 to 5 players, as it says right here. 75 to 90 minutes. I don't quite believe that. This game is a little bit longer than that, depending on your play group. ages 14 and plus. Also, I don't really believe that. Younger kids can play it, but I think this is like a legal thing that they have to put in terms of like age limits and things along that ways. My wife and I actually play the 2-player version of this quite often, and it is fantastic. I have yet to play it with more than just 2 people, but from what I've seen online with a lot of playthroughs and everything, it really kicks up as you get more people into it. I think 4 is the sweet spot that people were talking about, but trust me, this game is great 2, this game is great 3, 4, 5, it will get long. Like this 90-minute thing right here, you're probably looking more like 2 hours, more if they're brand new to the game that you have to teach. Anyway, Shards of Madness, that's the new expansion. Denizens of Wonderland are choking on the ever-so-serious business of war. Interesting. Cheshire Cat offers them a madness fix in the form of corrupted shards. These Wonderlandians and their artifacts offer powerful rewards, but at what cost will you risk looking into the chaotic grin of the Cheshire while you drink the Hatter's mercurial tea? Ooh, 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 darkness, darkness, darkness. Gah. So just a little bit of stats right here for Wonderland's Wars, you know, what people are talking about it, where it ranks on BGG, and I totally accept that and believe it 100%. I believe mine is like an 8.5 that I rated it myself. So the thing you're going to have to realize for this Kickstarter is that you're getting the deluxe game. That's what it is. If you're going to purchase the actual game itself, you are getting the deluxe version of the game. That's what it is. There's no standard or regular version of it. You're getting the deluxe version. There's no standard or whatever option, I should say, for a regular version. So you're going to get everything that the regular version has, plus all of the upgrades. So you'll get all of the characters in their cool 3D standees. You're going to get the custom meeples in here because the regular version only has standard meeples. Things you won't get, I'll talk about as we go along. So here we go. Deluxe Edition. First is going to go over basic things that you're going to get there in all of the regular stuff. So you're going to get 5 faction leaders: Alice, Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, the Jabberwok, and the Cheshire Cat, each of which have a 2-sided board. One side is for 2-player, the other side is for 3 to 5. And then you're going to get all the cardboard punch-outs, which would be all the punch-outs for the characters, all the punch-outs for the cards. I'm sorry, for the chips. Down here, you'll get all the punch-outs for the Wonderlandians and the various tokens. You'll get their Wonderlandian, 24 Wonderlandian cards, standard ones, all the draft cards for each one, round 1, round 2, round 3. The massive 6-fold Wonderland board. This game is a table hog. Keep that in mind when you're playing it. We found a very nice way to keep things nice and organized, but it does take up a lot of space. Faction discs, you know, you get a lot of the standard stuff that you need for the game. Your shard die, 21 allied cards, which you're only really ever going to use, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time, but that keeps the game interesting because you can switch around the allied cards as you play to give different abilities, so that's always a fun thing. And then the Madness Shards, which is what the expansion is really based on. And then, of course, like I said, the rest of the cardboard stuff. So a lot of that was what's in the standard edition. But wait, there's more, because now you're going to get some of the deluxe things that you're going to find here. You'll find the custom trays in here for you to be able to store all your meeples and your tokens and your cards. Here is the custom tray as well to hold all of the 3D figures, or you know, the actual figurine minis for each one of the Wonderlandians and your faction leaders. You got your really cool boards. Yeah, here you go. Here's all of your faction leader minis, all your Wonderlandian minis, the game trays where everything fits into very nicely. Be honest with you, based on how I have it, I ended up throwing out this plastic thing here because I have, I went the route of just kind of putting all of the player pieces within the bag. So the bags are also part of the deluxe edition. You get bags in the regular, but not these beautiful custom bags that would be part for each one of the faction leaders. But these supporter meeples look beautiful. I love them. I love how they all look so unique and for the particular character that they're for. You know, the pawns for Alice, the teacups for the Mad Hatter, the card soldiers for the Queen, the creatures for the Jabberwock, and the little kitties for the Cheshire Cat. You can go on Etsy and find stickers for these as well to add even more details for them. So that's really cool. You also have, like I showed, all the bags. And then Castles are put up throughout the course of the game to increase your point values at the end, and then also to add additional strength to your regions. So your characters in the standard edition, they're just castles. They look like castles, but at least here you get really cool custom castles for each one of the characters, just to add a little bit more flavor to playing it. Before I jump into the actual expansion, I do want to talk about the add-on of the premium chip. The deluxe version of the game will not come with this naturally. This is an add-on. You have to spend an additional $50 in order to purchase this to get all of the beautiful, beautiful premium chips that this game has to offer. What? Those are so cool. And let me tell you, this is worth it. This is 100% worth it, these premium chips. Just as it shows right here, for one, it will fit in the deluxe box. It's specifically made to fit in there along with everything else, and I think that's fantastic. In addition to that, these chips are thicker than the standard cardboard ones you would get from the game. Yes, I've seen people purchase coin holders to put those cardboard ones in, and it works out just the same, but rummaging, you're going to be putting your hand into this bag probably like 20 to 30 times throughout the course of the game. And to be able to feel these in there is just such a great feeling. I don't know why. I just love it. It just feels so nice and so natural to just kind of go in and rummage around and then to be able to find, you know, that particular chip that you need or whatever. It makes so much sense to get the deluxe chips right here. And yes, it's expensive, but it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. I would never play with anything else. So I just kind of wanted to point that out in terms of the premium chips. Yes, they are available to purchase. You can purchase them separately for all you want. You may have the premium, the regular edition of the game, and you just want the premium chips. You can purchase them separately. That is an option. It just may not fit into the regular box. At least I don't think so. Shards of Madness expansion, $15. So it's really not a lot. It's only cards is what you're getting. And ideally what it is you're getting 24 new Wonderlandian cards, you're getting 10 new quest cards, a battle marker card, which is double-sided, and then 8 to 10 shard cardboard tokens. So I guess just to have more shards at your disposal, because you only have so many of the actual physical shards in the game. And basically what this is each one of the Wonderlandians here have now something to do with shards, whether it be gaining shards, losing shards, giving shards, making shards into something else. It's kind of adjusted that way, and each one of the Wonderlandians themselves has a little bit of the Cheshire Cat in them, it looks like. And as you can see, they are that purpley pinkish color, which I guess is more associated with the Cheshire Cat here and there. But what this would do is it would replace your entire deck of existing Wonderlandians. So it's either you're going to use the regular deck of Wonderlandians or the new Shards of Madness ones here, 24 and 24. So you're not gaining any new chips. You don't need any new chips. You don't need any new standees. This is just a replacement. So that's the first thing you get. In addition, so yeah, here you go. Cards allow players to risk gaining more shards for stronger boosts, as well as new ways to discard shards or give them to others. It's all about the shards, which in the base game, the more madness shards you have, the more madness you get at the end of the P-Party phase. And then, of course, at the end of the game, each shard is worth -1 point. Out of the games that I've played, at most I've ever seen is like -8 points at the end of the game. So there's still plenty of ways of getting rid of shards and ways of kind of mitigating how many you take compared to how many you give out. I feel like that with this expansion, you're going to see a lot more shards on the table, and it's become a lot more of a necessity to give them away and to toss them away. Otherwise, you're going to be embracing the madness, and it's going to hurt your score at the end. You also have new leader quests here. One's focusing on leaders themselves, and then double feat quests. The double feat quests have 2 feats that can be completed, giving player more reasons to enter the fray in different regions. So that's going to be really cool. So it's these are the feats up here. Normally you would do a feat and then you'd be able to do the end game bonus. So now we have cards that have just 2 feats in them, which are awesome. And also now we have leader one. So this one says something like, stop a faction chip in the region with your leader. So you're not limited to just going to one spot. Wherever you put your leader, that's where you're able to accomplish the goal of this feat. Starting battle rewards. So now you're able to manipulate the Sword of Hope, right? It's the Sword of Hope, the Entombed Sword. I'm sorry, the Entombed Sword. Alice is the one with the Sword of Hope. To actually do something rather than it just being that's where the first battle is. This card that you see here will now add a special rule or circumstance to that spot wherever the sword is. So that's a really cool thing as well. Something also to keep in mind when you begin, because you don't know exactly what benefits you're going to have or you're going to lose depending on wherever you are. So that's really it. That's the Shard of Madness expansion. Really simple, really easy, just cards, but it adds enough to the game to, shuffle them in, make you go back, and just add more replayability to the game. That's fantastic. All right, just moving down again. Pledge levels, just to show you what it is that you can pledge. You can buy the Shards of Madness by itself for $15, which is what I did. Premium chips are by themselves for $50. The deluxe game, $115. Pretty standard price. I think it goes for maybe like $130, so you are saving some money going through the Kickstarter starter. I don't exactly know how much per se off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like $130, $140 MSRP, whereas $115 here. And then of course you probably want to throw on the $50 premium chip, or you could just get everything for $180. That would be the premium chips, the mini expansion, all of the bits, as they say. Add-ons I talked about already, the premium chips, we went over that. Shards of Madness. It's pretty much everything else here. You get an art print and narrative book. I think I have that in my deluxe edition. I don't remember. But either way, it's just another fun way of diving into the story of Wonderland. Get a little bit more background on each of the characters, why they're doing what they're doing, and just to learn about it. If you really like the story of Alice in Wonderland, you would love this. Let me just tell you. Promo Wonderlandians. These were 5 Wonderlandian cards that had different abilities on them compared to what was in the base game. You're getting 5 cards for $15. That to me is a bit excessive. I wish this was maybe like $10 or so. I'm still buying it. I'm still getting it because I want all the bits and pieces, like it said earlier. This also does not come with that $180 thing, by the way. You would have to purchase this separately. So if you want additional abilities for certain Wonderlandians, as you see here, you'll have to pay the extra for that. They also sell this on their website for $20 plus shipping. So picking it up here would be the best thing to do because it kind of all smashes together with whatever it is that you purchase. Full art poker deck. It's a poker deck. It's a deck of cards that have the Wonderlandian figures, characters on it. Very cool. I'm not going to pick this up myself, but I know because I have like 19 decks of cards for no reason at all, different versions and everything. Don't really need another one, but it's really cool to have, and it's a really cool thing that they offer. You don't see stuff like this inside of Kickstarters very often. Just a random deck of cards or a random item that has the art for the game on it. I thought that was really cool. Art-themed playmats. This game takes up enough space already, so I don't need any more things to take up space. But again, they look pretty. They look good. It's using the art. It's utilizing what the characters that they have and everything like that. So this here is very important. Updated player board. Sorry. For $5, which is fair. I'm cool with that, and I'm definitely picking this up. You get the newly updated Mad Hatter and Jabberwock player cards. So basically in the original, and what I have here in my deluxe edition, the Mad Hatter is very strong and the Jabberwock is not really that great. Their powers and abilities kind of are unbalanced. You play as the Mad Hatter and you'll get so many additional turns and so many additional items and so many, it's crazy how powerful the Mad Hatter is, and yet the Jabberwock, a lot of his abilities, like when he plays his claw, which is supposed to put poison in bag, has to be at a very specific point. Like I have to draw the card, or I'm sorry, the chip of his claw, place it, and then my opponent has to draw something that's a 1. Like you got to really be very specific about the timing and things that happen in those order for the Jabberwock to actually utilize his power. These faction boards will be available to download at some point. Again, I'm recording this hours after this started, so these will probably be available throughout the course of the campaign. So feel free to download those and check up on what's new for each of the characters. I know I'm going to be doing that, but I'm still going to purchase that anyway. For the sake of time, I'm not going to really go over all the fine details of how to play this game. There are a ton of videos out here on YouTube for you to be able to find that. And you go on BGG, you can find playthroughs, sessions, tutorials, all kinds of stuff. But basically the game is broken into 3 rounds with 2 phases per round. The goal of the game is to have the most points at the end of the game by completing quests, by completing certain other aspects of the game, by winning battles because you gain that, and by gaining castles because the castles also earn you additional points. You can download the rules if you want. The rule book is absolutely fantastic. As with most rule books, it's kind of hard to find things in certain areas of it, but I think it's laid out pretty well. They also have a lot of example scenarios in the rule book. So that's really helpful, especially for someone like me who's better at learning the game by watching it played rather than reading about it. So you read the example scenarios and it's like, okay, so that happens, that happens, that happens, that happens. Awesome, I get it, moving on. Reviews wise, again, this game has been around for like, the original Kickstarter was 2 years ago. This, I think, was finally delivered to people earlier this year. So you have playthroughs, you have tutorials. This is great. I love watching the game night. And here's the designer of the game as well. He's in most of these, if I'm not mistaken. But it is great to see all of this stuff out there. There's way more than this. This is just like the pick and choose ones that they had. Go on to the BGG site. You're going to find loads of videos that teach you how to play the game. And trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. Unfortunately, we get to a very harsh part, which is the shipping. James Hudson, I believe, is the name of the designer for the game. You know, works for Jewel City Games and everything, and like really promotes this game a lot. It's awesome. He is very active in the community, always talking to the fans whenever they have questions and everything. And one of the biggest things that's come up has been shipping. And he's working with the people in order to try to get better shipping costs for smaller things. Because I believe when he originally posted on BGG like the first version of this Kickstarter, so this way people can look at it and see what to expect, the shipping costs just for the mini expansion, which again is just cards, was astronomical. This looks a lot better in my opinion. Granted, the further down you go and the different regions you are, it does get a little dicey. But hopefully by the time this ends, he'll be able to get really good shipping costs for anything. Just keep in mind, depending on where you are in the world, it may cost you quite a bit to get this shipped to you, especially if you're going all in for everything. So this is really the reason I backed this, Shards of Madness, plus to be able to pick up the additional player boards, plus to be able to pick up the promo cards. Like I said, I managed to grab everything already, but if I did not have the deluxe edition, if I did not have the premiums and everything, I would be spending a lot of money on this, purchasing it, because I love this game. I do. And yes, I wouldn't have had it to know how much I loved it, but I've done enough research on it to know it would fit into my collection perfectly, and this one does. 100%. I've been trying to get a game night together with people, more people than just my wife and myself, in order to be able to play this with more people. I'm going to do it. It's on the list. Like, one of the top things I want to do for a game night is to play this with more people, and it's going to be fantastic. So there you have it, everybody. Wonderland's War reprint and expansion Kickstarter. Now on for the next, by the time this goes out, probably another 2 weeks or so you're going to have, or maybe even a little bit less, give or take. You saw how much everything was. You see it all, laid out in front of you and everything. You can always go online and check out all the different videos and everything that people have for it. Would I like to bring this to my channel one day? Absolutely, but this is how it's going to be for right now. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. What is your opinion on Wonderland's Wars? If you have it, if you don't, if you want it, if you're going to go all in, if you're only going to go bits and pieces. Let me know what you think of this in general. And then, of course, let me know if you back it. It's a great game. It's so much fun. It's a little difficult to teach, but once people pick it up, man, is it a wild time. You guys have been amazing. Thank you all so much for all your support and everything like that. Until the next time, take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together in this maddening world of Wonderland. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Later.